Hey guys, this is Paul from Nihilo in Stuart, Florida. Today we're going to talk about a maintenance-free solution that's going to give you peace of mind regarding your suspension linkage nuts. We've had a few complaints, people saying that the linkage nuts are falling off the bikes on the 2023 models. So the engineers at Nihilo developed a Fuji-style nut. It has a special locking tab on it. It'll allow you to put the nut on and it'll stay put under the harshest conditions of racing. The tools that we need for this job are a 19mm wrench, 19mm socket with an extension and a ratchet, 22mm wrench, 22mm socket, and obviously our Nihilo Fuji-style suspension linkage nuts. The first step of the process would be to remove the rear nut. You want to remove the front nut? We'll use a wrench for that. Once the two nuts are removed, we proceed to install our Nihilo Fuji-style nuts on. Torque it down. You will not be able to get a torque wrench for the front nut, so make sure they're both tight. You snug them up and you tighten them up a little bit more. Okay, on the previous model we just worked on, both nuts were on the right hand side. That applies for all the SXF model, all the motocross bikes. On this model, the XC models, the rear linkage nut is on the right, but the front linkage nut is on the left side. This applies for all the motorcycles that have side stands. The first thing we do is remove the rear nut. Install the Nihilo Fuji-style suspension linkage nut. 22mm socket. Just snug it up and then tight. Really good. Now we proceed to remove the front nut. What we're going to be loosening right now is the head of the bolt. Remember, the nut is on the left side. The nut on the left side has a cutaway that's jammed up against the frame. That's what's going to keep it from spinning. So you start loosening this side. You can put a second wrench on the nut on the other side. And here's the left side removed. Okay, for the left side front suspension linkage nut, once your OEM nut's removed, we proceed to install our Nihilo Fuji-style suspension linkage nut. It is very important to note this. Frame has a straight cutaway on the forward side of the nut. It is very important to align whichever side of the nut to that cutaway. All the sides are equal. Make sure the flat side is lined up with that side. And then you can lift the swing arm up just enough and push at the same time to allow the nut to sit fully against the frame and the cutaway sit against the flat side of the nut. Here we go. Lift the frame up a little bit. Push down. All you have to do is lift the swing arm just enough to take the load off the bolt. Okay, and for the last part of the process for the XC bikes, or the bikes that have a side stand, you go ahead and tighten up the bolts. I'm using my left hand on the left side just to hold the nut in place. Make sure it doesn't come off the cutaway. Remember, the cutaway is what's going to hold the nut and keep it from spinning. Once it's snug, you want to make sure that it's safely secured. And there you have it. It only took a couple minutes to install the Nihilo Concepts Fuji-style suspension linkage nut. It'll give you peace of mind during extreme racing conditions. Now available at nihiloconcepts.com. Thanks for watching.